Welcome back to Jersey Matters. So where does the LGBTQ movement stand in New Jersey? Here to talk about that is Christian Fuscarino, Executive Director of Garden State Equality. Thanks for coming back. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me back on. I appreciate you being so welcoming.
Oh, absolutely. Let's talk about the movement, though, because you look on TV, you see LGBT characters. The Supreme Court has moved on gay marriage. The military has made changes. So you look at all these advancements over the last decade, over the last couple of decades, and you think, okay, where else? Where do you have to go? You don't even hear about the movement so much anymore. Are we done?
Well, I think a lot of folks are asking that question, not only in the LGBT community, but people all over the place are saying, well, now that we have marriage equality, have we achieved everything that we needed to achieve? And that is completely not the case whatsoever. And we can show statistics and share stories about the work that still needs to be done, even in a state like New Jersey, from bullying in schools to LGBT older adults moving into healthcare facilities where they may not feel comfortable being bathed, fed, clothed by a stranger. A lot of times they'll live their whole lives out, go into a facility like this after their spouse dies, and then go back into the closet because of fear of being discriminated against or abused by this provider. So we go into those facilities, we do sensitivity trainings, we're in schools, we work with teachers on anti-bullying programs, we're working with institutions like Robert Wood Johnson Barnabas to train the staff there and the physicians there on how to treat LGBT patients. There's still so much work to do. Even on the LGBT homelessness side, we're positioned between Philadelphia and New York, and so they have great facilities, but we have almost 9 million people in this state where there's a large homelessness population, and we only have one facility in the state that is LGBT exclusive, and it has roughly 15 beds.
If you're homeless and you're part of the LGBT community, you need your own homeless shelter?
Well, a lot of times the issues that LGBT youth are facing in the homeless cycle are unique. So they're being kicked out of their homes by their parents. There's a lot of trauma associated with that. They may be transgender and not able to find a job like at Target or McDonald's like another young person might. And so they resort to drug and sex trafficking work. And so those are really specific needs. They may be unsafe in a facility that is sex segregated. So having an LGBT exclusive homeless shelter makes sure that their protection is a priority.
Is that with many issues? Do you look and say it's not okay just to fix it, like for instance a homeless problem, we need to fix a homeless problem and then make special exceptions for the LGBT community?
Well, like, listen, anti-bullying programs affect all students,
I get that.
right?
Yeah.
So in the homelessness space, if we're making sure that we're providing enough beds to cover a portion of the homelessness population, then we're attacking the larger problem of homelessness as a whole. But I do believe that you do need to have specific programs specialized to address special needs. So for LGBT homeless young people, they're having trauma and they need therapy when they're kicked out of their homes for being gay, and so it's important for it to be specific to them.
I guess when we're talking about the movement or the issue, we're actually talking about acceptance overall. And until you get to the point where there is overall acceptance, universal acceptance, you're going to always have these individual problems and these individual needs. And I would think that starts in the schools.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing young people now, LGBT, coming out at very young ages because they feel more comfortable than ever before. Those young people are going to have a better shot at leading successful life because they were comfortable at a young age. They didn't need to restrict themselves because they were afraid of being bullied, or they were uncomfortable bringing someone that they love to prom, which can change the way that a person looks at the world. So if young people feel valued in schools, then they're going to grow up to be successful and accomplished adults.
And it's definitely working, because my generation felt much more different about LGBTQ than my kids or my grandkids, and they think nothing of it. So do you believe that we're getting to a time, if we're not there now, where nobody will even be talking about it?
Yeah, I was in high school around 10 years ago, and there were kids that are now my age, we've been out of school for 10 years, that are struggling and having a really hard time. And this is still recent, and I believe that a lot of that is because they couldn't just live a normal life. They were bullied in schools, they felt scared. And now we work with some young people who are in school who are between the ages of 8 and 10, confident in themselves, out of the closet, accepted by their schoolmates. By the time they're my age, they're going to be in a much better place than kids my age were in school, or kids
And I'm sure you
your
take
age were in
great pride
school.
in that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for
Thank
having
you.
me.
I appreciate you coming in. Christian Fuscarino, Executive Director of Garden State Equality. Jersey Matters continues right after this. Still to come, there's a brand new tax incentive for films to come back to New Jersey. We'll tell you how it works when Jersey Matters continues.